Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here again on the Climate Change Summit stage. I've followed the event during the day, and we are here talking about economy and how is it transforming to a sustainable growth. One quote stuck with me today, that we must start from ground zero and understand the present in order to act on the future. Our present is not a very happy one right now. We are among multiple crises. We have wars, we have economic downside, inflation, climate change. But in this present and in this environment, some of us, more and more I hope, are thinking about the future and about sustainable growth. And I would like to ask Giovanni Perini, shareholder Perini Group, one of our speakers. I heard that, I hope I heard well that Ciprian mentioned the speakers. If not, I will mention you all again and welcome you. Maria Rousseva, Deputy CEO, BRD Groupe Société Générale. Cosmin Vladimirescu, General Manager, Mastercard Romania and Croatia. Giovanni Perini, shareholder Perini Group. So Giovanni, let's start with you. How do you see the sustainable transformation to economic sustainable growth?
So I think economic sustainable growth, especially in Romania, has a bright future. A lot of the economic premises around these technologies and around these things have changed in the last few years. But there are also some challenges ahead, and I think one of the important aspects that we need to focus on is educating people for the future. And in this sense, obviously, green jobs in this area where these opportunities regarding heat pump technologies, electric car technologies have opened up a possibility of many new skills that need to appear on the market, and that right now there isn't yet the infrastructure to teach these people. And so reskilling and upskilling, I think, is going to be one of the important aspects that we need to focus on as in the private sector to be able to face these challenges and also to capture these opportunities that we have in sustainability.
We'll also talk about opportunities, but now, Cosmin, I would like to ask you, how do you see the current environment, business environment in Romania from this perspective of the drive towards sustainability?
I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. Romania is a land of opportunities. I choose to look at this as Romania like this. Obviously, there's so many things to be done, but on the other hand, we don't have that much legacy. We don't have that many systems that need to be changed. I think that the economy of Romania presents the biggest opportunity. The people in Romania deserves the best opportunities. God knows there's so many things that we are lacking, and we are lagging behind other EU countries. But on the other hand, I am confident that if the private sector together with the public sector will pull together, we'll have a strategy which is geared towards people and economy, we will succeed. The economy will thrive, people will live better lives. So in the end, I think that we will succeed. The question is, will we succeed in due time? And obviously, the big companies are ready already with digitization, the most educated people who have access to better resources. Obviously, they've already saw the threat, understood the problem lying ahead, and they're already taking measures. For us at Mastercard, it's about democratizing every single digital instrument that we have. So not only that we will pull everybody in this inclusive economy, but also we will do that in the shortest possible time span. So basically everybody will go mostly together.
Together and cooperation.
Yeah.
it's key. And cooperation can only be with a financing partner, I guess. And Maria, I would like to ask you from the banking sector's perspective, how do you see the objective of sustainability?
On the one hand, if you look at the statistics of how big is the proportion of green financing in the recently granted loans, you'll see that it's indeed very low. It's not more than 4% in the recently granted loans. So it is a lot of work to be done. But I wouldn't look only from that perspective of what's the situation in the banking sector, because it's not just the green financing, which obviously all banks are trying to enhance as product portfolio and so on. It is also about our own engagements and obligations in the frame of all this. When you talk about people, and both of you actually talking about people, and I really want to mention what we do here. In fact, in BRD, we are educating right now 100% of our colleagues. So everyone is attending in a specific program dependent on the complexity of their jobs, education on starting from basics to more advanced topics of ESG. I think it is extremely important. And while we would be growing our financing as a sector, we need also to make sure that our people understand all this, the stakes and the opportunities. And I would say that also the regulatory obligations, which are related to assessing the risks coming from the climate change, but also our overall approach towards decarbonizing ourselves, they are also contributing to all this. Yes, it's still little. Yes, it's a lot to be done, but it's growing.
Okay, and we are all contributing. Mastercard is one of the companies that are in the intersection of more industries, more business segments. You kind of see everybody, and you mentioned digitalization as one of the big opportunities. Can you elaborate a bit?
On whether or not digitalization it's a big opportunity, I honestly believe it's a health factor. You need to have that in order to move forward. I mean, this is such a broad topic, and we at Mastercard, we think of ESG as being the single most important thing on our agenda. And honestly speaking, I hate myself for not having the storytelling abilities of a guy like, I don't know, George Lucas or Quentin Tarantino, because this is a story which needs to be told in a way that would make the entire world to stop and listen and take action. And honestly, for me, my main objective for today and for tomorrow is to make you leave this room as ambassadors for change.
Do you feel
digitization is just, obviously, it's right now, it's the backbone of ESG. Is what we can do and what we have to do is just that we need to find the right mix for every company or person joining this digital economy, so they will get access to all the ingredients, be it artificial intelligence or supercomputing or automation, you name it, right? We've developed plenty of tools, well beyond our usual playground, let's say. We have cybersecurity solutions, we have all these services and platforms which not only address financial institutions, but merchants as well as governments, as well as people. We just need to find the right mix.
Place or pace?
Sorry?
Place or pace?
Place or
the
what?
Right? The right?
The right mix.
Mix?
Yes,
sorry,
the right
sorry,
mix.
the sound is
Yeah,
not...
yeah, the sound's not that good on,
It's
on
not
the
that good
stage here.
here.
We cannot hear
Yeah,
each other
but do you
very well.
feel that this topic catching up in Romania. Okay, I know in the private sector it's huge topic. In the state, it's catching up the topic, but we are not at the levels that we as citizens would like, maybe. How do you feel?
You want me to answer that? How many days do I have? So, listen, we are not nowhere. We've started doing something, right? There is digitization in the public sector. Obviously, they're just getting started, all right? Can they do it by themselves? No, obviously not. They have so many things on their agendas. So they need help. They need us to help them. They need us to remind them that we're not just some guys stamping a bulletin every 4 years. We are there to remind them that we need this, right? And some of the measures, I have to say, many people won't like them, but they are what needs to be done, all right? So today, I just arrived from another meeting like 7 minutes ago. I Ubered here. I spent 40 minutes in traffic, right? Right next to me, there was a tram. I was curious and I looked at the number. Era tramvaiul 24. That thing was empty. 3 cars, 10 people in it. I was stuck in traffic for that long that I could count the people in the tram. This is rush hour. But Bucharest is rush hour throughout the entire day. Why? Because we need the infrastructure.
Because they don't have a schedule that you can rely on. So, because we had a meeting, I'm a journalist, and we were invited to the Ministry of Energy a couple of days when it was huge traffic, and a couple of colleagues were late exactly because of that, because they couldn't rely on the schedule of the bus or of the tram.
The subway is always on time, right? And I'm taking that every single day, and it works just fine. But I get that. I mean, I live right next to a public school. Every single day I'm walking my dog at 7:45, and I see all these people coming in, rushing in from traffic, trying to get their kids to school, all right? There's nothing but love in the parents' eyes. They genuinely love and care for their children. They are doing whatever they can to bring them to school in due time. There's a discrepancy though, right? They are driving these big diesel engine SUVs, right? Stuck in traffic for 2 hours every single morning. And I can't blame them, right? They're trying to do the right thing for their kids today, but they are killing their future, or the future of their grandkids. But they don't have options, they don't have infrastructure in the places where they live, so they have to come into the heart of the city to bring their kids to school, and that adds up to the traffic.
Sticking to opportunities, and we'll go to the challenges in the next question. Maria, top opportunities in the finance sector towards sustainability.
According to the UN assessment on the financing needs worldwide, there is more than $1 trillion USD demand. So there is a huge opportunity. The point is that we need to structure it in the right way, to propose the right products, to make the possible efforts to fit the demand and the supply. And in Romania, I would say there are plenty of opportunities if you start from the very basic ones, like the energy efficiency. I think it's so wide and so basic and so obvious. And there are products which we are developing for that. For example, in our bank, we are having a specialized consumer loans related to such type of needs. Not only the energy efficiency, but any mobility which is green, the electrical vehicles, but any other electric devices which are better than the described by you SUVs and so on, diesel ones. So we have these products. There is also the opportunity to have a greener fleet if you are a company. And we have offers on our leasing company, but on our ALD, which is the fleet management company, where we have specific offers for green mobility. I will go further. There are opportunities on the municipalities. You can grant loan to a municipality today. Already we are doing that by making it sustainability linked, because many of our municipalities now have waste management, water treatment ideas, and they want to invest, and we can support them with such type of products. Of course, all this is related to collecting the right KPIs after that, assessing and proving that this is a real green product. Even on the asset management side or on the wealth management side, we have structured deposits in the meantime, which are with indexes which are ESG oriented, the same for the asset management funds which we have. So there are opportunities. Again, it is a matter of when we will reach the maturity, so the critical size. But banks here are also involved in educating. Once again, it's extremely important to educate our people and to help the education of our clients. And by the way, this type of event is one step in that direction. So more awareness, more publicity around it.
Right, so, and we are here to help in this aspect. Giovanni, would you like to add some opportunities of the moment?
I think to what Maria was saying earlier, I would also add that two key premises I think have changed in recent years. One of them is the technological premise around sustainable technologies and around products that promote sustainability, and also the economic premises around them. So the cost to produce, the cost to operate have changed in such a way that things that just weren't on the table 5-6 years ago now have become a real possibility, and so now can be included in more traditional mainstream business models. If I were to give an example, in our engineering division of the group, we weren't really seeing many consumers choosing heat pumps, for example, heat pump solutions for heating buildings 4 or 5 years ago, because the economic premises around these products and the technology was not still convincing to consumers. Today, we already see even large-scale residential projects choosing these products in the detriment of gas-based power solutions. In the automotive division of the group, for example, again, 4 or 5 years ago, it was very unusual to see a consumer choose an electric vehicle as a primary vehicle for them, because the driving autonomy of these vehicles and also the charging infrastructure in Romania did not make these a viable option for many people. Today, those premises have changed. And now you've seen a lot of people choose these as primary vehicles. And I would encourage also members of the audience in your respective industries to analyze things that perhaps you have analyzed in the past years and that just didn't make business sense back then, and see if now maybe the technological or the economic premises haven't changed, so that now they can become a viable possibility.
And you can be the first to also, because there are opportunities, but there are also challenges.
Of course.
Can you start?
There are, of course, challenges to this, and apart from what I mentioned earlier with this need to educate and to prepare, I think there's also a real challenge. I think it was Oren Harari who said a quote along the lines of, the continuous improvement of the candle did not lead to the electric light. And we call this an energy transition, but in many ways it also has to be a leap, because the continuous improvement of the efficiency of, let's say, a gas-powered heating solution, it consumes less and less gas, it's not going to lead to a gas-free heating solution. The continuous improvement of the efficiency of petrol engines is not going to lead to an electric engine. The operating principle of these products and of these technologies is fundamentally different. And so being fundamentally different, also our habits will change fundamentally around these products. And understanding this leap and this change of mentality, how we build things, how we operate, how we go about our lives, is also, I think, a mental barrier that we need to get accustomed to, and each one of us individually needs to find a way to get accustomed to this new relationship that we have with these new technologies. I think that would be one of the challenges. The second I would identify, perhaps, is I think there is a risk in these initiatives, in these good-natured initiatives, and we have to be very careful to find a way forward in terms of sustainability that allows us to find a way to integrate and live in harmony with nature, and not turn nature into a museum, in a desire to protect nature, not to put barriers between ourselves and nature. So, I mean, for example, here we have a grass floor. If I were to want to protect this grass floor, I would probably take two approaches. A, I could choose not to step on it, and that would make sure that it remains intact, or I could find ways to interact with it that also respect its needs and allows it to continue to live. And I think the choice not to step on it brings us in that kind of environment where we're looking at turning nature into a museum, putting barriers between human beings and the natural world. So I think one of the challenges, okay, how do we move forward and live in harmony with nature, but in a way that allows us to be part of the natural world and live in harmony with it?
Okay, Maria?
Challenges. I would say banking is regulated, and therefore, what to say about challenges? Everything which today looks like a challenge in terms of regulation, tomorrow we execute it and it's working. You know, we are used to turn difficulties into well-executed projects. Let's say, yes, it demands resources, and it is sometimes arbitration what you do on the environment. And on the environmental topics, there is no need to arbitrate nothing. I mean, we have regulatory pressure, we have the consumer's pressure, we have our own reputation at stake. I would say that any challenge is actually opportunity, especially in that field. Wouldn't want to, I wouldn't go into the technical aspects of how difficult it is to collect data, how this data is not standardized, how the time when we need to report in a structured manner, that data will be difficult for all of us. But okay, so we'll find a way. And I think once it is valid for the whole sector, we'll find a way to structure it. And once it is a priority for the society, we are we'll find the solution. So again, for me, it is more opportunity than challenge. And the second point, and I think today we had also SG representative, one of our top managers of the group here on stage, who was talking about how we embed the ESG topic in everything we do, so-called ESG by design, as we call it in the group. This is our whole operation. We try to adjust to the concept of protecting environment, and not only environment, but be also fair employer, so because there is also the S component, in the ESG. So it's a complex system which makes us responsible to everything we do. I think if we approach our own activity from this by design approach, everything we do it that way, the challenges are less important.
So focus on solutions.
Exactly, but with holistic view, I would say.
Okay. Cosmin, do you want to add? You already started mentioning some challenges.
To the challenges?
To the challenges, yes.
No.
But very, very shortly, because we are approaching.
I'll be brief. All right.
Briefly.
So there are no challenges, there are only opportunities. I can even drop the mic or carry on if I have 30 more seconds. Sure. So maybe I'm biased. Maybe I was raised to look at problems this way. And maybe I am biased because I'm working for Mastercard, and I still remember the day I joined, April 1st, it's not a joke, 2007, and the first thing they did, they shipped me to Brussels, to Waterloo actually, on a public speaking training. Obviously I played hooky on that one, so I'm not doing that great. Anyway, so the first plane ticket the company bought for me, it had something which I never saw before. And it was the carbon footprint. And I was, what is that? I had to look it up. I actually had to Google it. But now this is something that it's embedded into our DNA, right? And we have the products, we have the services, we have the carbon calculator, which empowers every single consumer to know precisely what's his carbon footprint based on his shopping. So we have the donation platform. We are making all these things possible. We are bringing 1 billion people into the digital economy. We are bringing 50 million companies. We are empowering 25 million women entrepreneurs in the digital economy. That's a commitment. We are planting 1 billion trees. We are doing stuff. So yeah, maybe there are some challenges, but there are mostly opportunities.
You transformed the challenge of the previous question in an opportunity, because the final question was about what every one of your companies is doing towards this sustainable shift, and you already mentioned some very nice and powerful things. Maria, I know that also BRD has a sustainability strategy and with very, very concrete goals. Tell us a bit about that.
I will just mention two elements. The one is our own carbon footprint, which our engagement is by 2030 to decrease by 50%, but our ambition is even earlier to do it by 25. So we are on a good track there. This is our own activity. Then related to the financing, we have in our strategy by 2025 €1 billion of green or sustainability-linked financing. Fortunately, we have enough demand, though I said at the level of the whole sector is not that significant, but we are almost at 80% of the 1 billion in 2023. So we'll be most probably exceed by far. Actually, we will adapt our, upgrade our ambition on the green financing. So these are the two elements which we follow closely. I would say one third element, which is less tangible but very important, and many other companies are doing in the meantime, the biggest mostly. We issue already for a second year our sustainability report. It's very important because it's a public information and everything we do is in there. It's also very clear, transparent.
It's one of the top reports from the bigger stock exchanges, as far as I know.
Thank you. But I think it's important because big companies have the means and have the understanding to do it, so we should be an example.
And Giovanni, what is your example?
So also I would agree very much with Maria regarding the sustainability report. In fact, we've published our first sustainability report back in 2015, and we've been trying to keep track of these things ever since. I would say just briefly 3 dimensions that we try to promote a sustainable future. First is through our own business practices. So we try to reduce our carbon footprint as much as possible through our operations. So we do this by isolating our buildings as well as possible, by putting solar panels on the roofs of our logistics centers in our buildings, by changing, having all the lights as LED lights, by reducing the packaging that we use in the internal logistics of the company, by using reusable plastic boxes. So we try to be mindful of the impact that we have on the environment in our operations. Secondly, we try to promote a sustainable future through the products and services that we offer and the solutions that we offer. So by promoting and selling, by promoting the use of sustainable products, I think we're also trying to make our business partners more sustainable themselves. And thirdly, through the investments that we make. So when we invest in companies and also when we do startups, we have, I think, 2 driving questions. Apart from whether it makes economic sense for that startup to exist, we also think about whether that startup is good for the environment and good for the future of the planet, because this is some place where we're all on the same team. And I think we're all in different industries and we have different activities, but when it comes to the future of the planet and the future of the next generations of humans, we all need to come together to make it a reality.
Thank you very much, everybody. So we had here on Climate Change Summit for the second year, a very interesting panel with economic actors from different sectors, and everyone showed us they are taking action towards the future. I stuck with cooperation and education. We have to focus on this. And thank you so much again, Maria Rousseva, Cosmin Vladimirescu, Giovanni Perini, and see you next year maybe. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.